we like to move to the next stage, and I'd like all the people who are going to take stage to give us a little talk just to take some minimal time. I can see our young men are very anxious. From yesterday, they were asking me, at what time shall we be going home? At what time shall we be going? Leon, are you there? So briefly, I'd just like to thank these young men. My experience with them has been quite good for the last 10 days. I was with them from the first day, every minute, every hour, up to this point. We were sleeping here. I don't know if we were sleeping, but let me say we were resting here with them. And I had an opportunity to interact with them. We explored quite a number of issues. We enjoyed watching football. We enjoyed watching movies. We enjoyed listening to music. And we enjoyed our psychoeducation classes. To you parents also, I'd like to thank you for your patience. Some of you are not used to having your children away from home for this long period of time. Perhaps we've had some quite rough time with you. There are some who are calling in the morning, has he woken up? Is he breathing? How is the boy doing? So we've had to also walk with you this journey. It has been quite interesting and I really enjoyed it personally. So I don't have much to say, but to just encourage our young men to be responsible going forward. They have set goals, they know the goals. Parents, support them, and everything is going to be well. Thank you so much. And at this juncture, I'd like to welcome my other psychologist, Ara Maruf, to come and give us just a small talk about his experience at this camp. Karibu Mara. Ara. So.
Asante. So good afternoon again. As John said, my name is Ara, and I've been working as a psychologist here at the camp for the last 10 days. And as it was for the young men, right? And while some may think that this is a learning experience mostly for them, it has been a huge learning experience for me as well. It's been a two-sided relationship. And both from a cultural perspective, but also from a psychological perspective, learning about what a big difference 10 years in an age gap can make. Even though I'm not that much older, with technology, with society that is developing like this, there is a big gap between how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves, what's affecting us from the outside. So Max and I mostly work with doing lectures, facilitating classes and so on. All the men, let's say, have been very active. It's been a very interactive group, asking questions, being interested. It's been a great time just also getting their perspective on things. And also we've also been doing assessments, one-on-one sessions, getting to know these individuals on a deeper level, what their goals are, what their dreams are, strengths, what they can improve. And I really hope that this is only the beginning, and all these things that we've been doing together, these are things that we're going to work on for the rest of our lives, right? I think everyone in here is still working on themselves, on self-awareness, self-esteem, knowing yourself, emotional regulation, and so on. And I hope you recognize these terms that I'm using, especially the young men. All in all, I wanted to say that this has been a huge learning experience for me. I want to thank guardians and parents for trusting us with the young men. I want to thank the young men for being so cooperative, willing to learn, interactive. And I think this experience has made my view of the future brighter, just interacting with the younger people here. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I hope the celebrations will be fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ara. I'd like to welcome Max to give us a talk.
Oh, Ara. How am I gonna top that? That would be hard. But to continue with where we left off, and to continue what you were saying, for me it has been a huge learning experience as well. I've been standing up there trying to teach these kids all of these different things, from grief and loss to social support and everything. But then at the same time, they have been teaching me as well, you know? And I remember me holding classes. I've been to some classes as well, sitting there at the benches, and people are standing up there teaching me about everything from Kenya, and just me interacting with you guys. What I want to thank most is you guys for letting me having gotten to know you. Actually seeing the individuals within you and having those talks and seeing your good sides, also seeing the sides you have to work on and everything, but we all have to do that, right? And for me, that's just like an experience to really get into the culture of here, Kenya, and seeing what it's really like having life living here. And for me, it feels like I've gotten to do that for you guys. So for me, I want to thank you so much for this learning experience. I hope you have learned something from me as well, but I know for sure that I've learned something from you guys. And I really appreciate it. And for every one of you, I'm happy for all of the interactions we've been having. That's something I will cherish and really bring with me back home to Sweden. Yeah, so to finish it off, asante sana, and I hope we'll meet in the future. And I know from having talked with you guys, you will have a bright future. Parents, this is some children you're having that is really motivated, driven, smart. Like, I didn't have these high expectations before coming here, but then having talked with these guys and just getting to know them, seeing what they're capable of, their trajectory into the future, as Sarah said, that gives me some hope for the future, and I know that it will go well for all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can see we have a future, okay? Young men, the future is in you. I'd like to welcome Derek.
Good afternoon once again. Yeah, as I said, my name is Derek, head of admin. This is my 4th time to be in a bootcamp in Allsmiles. From the very first one, and now this is the 4th time. And what I can say, it's always an amazing journey with the boys. I do it for, like, should I say it's a passion? Because it's good to interact with the boys, to meet the new people. But what I can say about this group, now the 𝗕𝐧𝐲 2024, the boys are amazing. Na wanapenda kukula. Pizza iliisha. So, they are so disciplined. What I can thank you, parent, is the cooperation, also for accepting our rules, calling time, visiting time, and I also thank them for not hurting themselves, because that was our biggest worry. So what I can say, tonight next time mkikuja sawa. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome our recovery coach, Francis.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon once again. As I've already said, my name is Francis, and during these 10 days, I've won several cups or several shirts, as you may like to call it. The first one that I was, when these guys were going to undergo the surgery, I was the one calling out their names, and from then, I knew all of them by name. From that point, I know all of them by name. The second one, I was the janitor. I was the guy that they would call when they have some problems. I was the guy that was helping clean the room. I was the guy that was bringing the food to them. So I really interacted with the guys on a one-on-one basis. The other clothes that I wore, I would go with them and I was their coach. I was their recovery coach. I conducted, I think, some 3 or so classes with them. So I would tell them before I start my class, ule mtu mnaona huko akioshea room sio ule ako hapa. Now you guys need to listen seriously here. So I wore different caps. And on that note, I was also assisting Derek, who was the main admin. When he was away, maybe running errands, I would answer some phones, and you guys had Francis on the line. I was assisting Derek. I was assisting John, who was the overall. I was also, in fact, assisting the doctor. I was calling him every now and then. If these guys, they had any problem, they would come to me. I would go check them, then I would call the doctor. The doctor would tell me, do this, do that, let me come and check them out. So basically, I would say I was an all-rounder. But what I really loved the most was interacting with the guys, the boys that you gave us, and we are bringing out some young men. I've interacted with all of them even on one-on-one basis, and I'm really happy with their progress. But I would just like to tell them one thing. Being a man is not work that you do just for 10 days. This is work that is a continuous process. When you go out there, your main duty right now, I think, is education, since you don't work. Education, obeying your parents, focus on your goals, focus on your dreams. That is part of you guys becoming men. And just before I go, I would like to tell you guys, I mostly talk about addiction. I've already talked to the young men about it. And we've concluded, me and the young men, that the best way to do away with the drugs and all these addictions that we have out there, especially for these guys who are still at this young age, the best remedy for you guys now is to never even start. I've already talked to you guys on our own personal terms, and I told you guys, if you really, because some of the questions were like, how would someone overcome addiction of this kind, and I told you guys, at this young age, you've not started all these things. If you really want to have a good life, please, kindly, as a big brother, don't start to do most of these things. Don't even try to go the way of drugs. Stay drug-free, and you'll have a very fruitful life. Thank you very much, parents, for entrusting us with your kids. Now we are giving you back young men, and we hope to see you all again in the future. Happy holidays. May God bless you all.
Thank you so much. As Francis has said, when you choose to use substances, there is addiction. And addiction, once you are there, it is a bottomless pit. You keep falling and falling until you are picked.